All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today, I am joined and blessed by a few members of the band Stolen Gin. We have Jackson, Will, Evan, and Sawyer. Boys, how we doing?
Can't
Love
complain.
hanging in there.
Yeah. They are
Happy to
coming
hear.
off of the southern leg of their world tour they have going on. And I had the pleasure of seeing these gentlemen at Smith's Old Bar. They are a party. They'll get into some Midwest tour dates later, but want to make sure we can get to know them and what they're all about. But boys, I guess I want to start. I read on the website you guys are, a former party band from, NYU. I mean, how did we all get there, and how'd this whole thing start?
Well,
Yeah, I was a senior at the time, and I had been making music for a few years, um, just in the music program at NYU, and didn't meet Jackson until he came in as a freshman. And like in New York, I wasn't really finding a lot of people that were aligned with being into a lot of the stuff that inspires me, the Grateful Dead and stuff. And Jackson and I just like kind of hit it off immediately and started making music, and we already had like ton of mutual friends, and I lived in a apartment with like a huge rooftop. So by the time we had one song, we were like already, all right, we're gonna play a big show on the roof for all of our friends. It was like the first show was packed. I think we played the first song we made like three times, along with a few other covers. But yeah,
there were
we
a
were
lot of repeats back in the day.
yeah.
Me.
Like it.
Um, but yeah,
Anyone else would, go ahead.
no, just NYU kind of like fostered this whole kind of, well, there were just a lot of musicians there, when I got there at least. But as soon as Will and I got in the studio for the first time, I think the very first day we wrote, Red, and the rest was kind of history. Like our friends loved it, and we needed a live band ASAP to be able to put on functions and just have fun. And I don't think we ever got like too serious about it too quickly. It was always just for fun and just to have a great time, and we kind of try our best to live by those standards still. But
Yeah, in my time at NYU, like I don't think I had ever really been to like a house party where a band was playing. It was just pretty rare given like how loud it is, and everything. So it was just cool to like bring that to people, and it was like so refreshing to people coming to like an NYU party and seeing a live band. It's just like not something you get a lot in New York.
Now, is everybody in here like trained, classic musicians? Did everyone go to the music school of NYU, or there's some of y'all just like, hey, like we're, this is something we did in high school and we've just been playing for a while and love it.
Well, the funny thing about NYU is that it's such an insanely big school that there's actually like lots of different kind of like music schools within it or music programs, and they have like surprisingly little overlap in terms of, classes and things like that, even professors. Whereas like at a lot of other colleges, there's just like the music school or the conservatory. Here we were pretty much all enrolled in different programs, but everyone was studying music. So we actually didn't come together so much through like classes. I think Jackson and Evan did, but that was an English class, right? That wasn't even a music class.
that was
We
right.
met we met
Yeah.
in a freshman year writing class that had nothing to do with music. And Jackson had told me about the band at the time, and I was like, "Oh, let me come through for a rehearsal." And that was, 4 years before that ever actually happened. Um, and yeah, so I joined after COVID. But to answer your question, yes, we are. I mean, three of us have a pretty like substantial jazz background, and then Will and Jackson are more like, I mean, I guess they came from like a jam band sort of musical taste. But I mean, Jackson, you were in like choir growing up, right? You had like some formal sort of European training going on.
I did a lot of hard-nosed European training when I was a young lad. But then I came here for high school and totally like stopped doing music. I played soccer. I just like kind of did different stuff, but eventually picked up the guitar and played in my dorm room um and kind of took that kind of desire to be a performing artist to NYU with me. And then met these guys who
Love
taught
it.
me.
I love it. Well, for you guys, like, and I mean, I will do a kind of a song spotlight here, and I want to kind of everybody's little part of this song. I want to kind of hear how it was kind of created from nothing to something. But for If We Go Down, I want to talk about the single that's out now and it's new. It seems like when I heard it live, I'm sure that it was different the next night and the next night after that. So obviously, with you guys having a jazz background and some jam band-esque things, how is it that you guys laid it down in how do you lay it down in like a recording studio versus then you guys go out and you play it with with all of that improvisation and everything? Like, so if we want to start with we want to start up with Will and kind of go this way.
Yeah, for sure. It just started as like I'm always kind of firing up like instrumental demos on my computer and then sending everything I make to the band, and either gets a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and that's how most projects start. That one people liked, and everyone started writing their parts, and we brought it in the studio. And like when we first came together, like recording music fully as a band, which was after our first couple projects, we used to record like everything all together in the same room, and it had like more of a live kind of feel. But more recently we have preferred to like record instrument by instrument one at a time and like really try to kind of polish everything and every part. And then once the parts writing's done, like live, we just try to shake things up, take jams longer, like choose a couple spots to like really let like Evan go off, or Josh do his thing. So
Like it, for the bass line, Sawyer, like, when you're coming together for specifically If We Go Down, like, how'd you start with that when you heard the demo tape come into you? Like, what was kind of the strike inspiration, or were you just kind of, hey, I think this bass groove might work for this, or how'd you go about that?
Yeah, this one was a pretty interesting one actually for baseline because it was just coming out of Underwater, which was the focus was much more on saxophone for that song, and I was pretty much I was playing very traditional Latin rhythms during the chorus, and we had a riff that we wrote for the verse, so it was very very locked in. Whereas for If We Go Down, it's got that instrumental break, which is like the bass and guitar thing, and it's got some pretty there's a fair amount of bass improvising in it. So I kind of took the approach of like, all right, I want to like get my licks in. I want to work on some stuff and like find some cool things because I feel like there's a place for it here where it's like not corny. Whereas like on a lot of songs, I'm really just want to like play the bass line and lay it down for other people to improvise or whatnot. So for this one, I was pretty much improvising continuously for like the second half of the song, just playing different 16th note grooves and like things that I stole from Joe Dart and Jaco Pastorius and stuff like that. And then we found like the 3 or 4 fills that were cool, and we kept those. And then we just like we looped some other stuff for like more of the traditional bass line for the second half of the song. So this one was fun. This one was like really pretty technical, I think, from a bass perspective.
Very tight, very tight. Jackson, for you, like lyric wise, I mean, for If We Go Down, I mean, where do you start there? I mean, how do the words spring up for you
I'll
in
tell
any kind
you,
of writing?
this one has a funny story because let's see if I remember. I really like the instrumental, and I'm glad that you went to Will first, because he historically has been the one to kind of be the spark in most of our songs with just laying down any type of groovy track, beat, guitar riff, whatever. And I think we all really liked this one. And I brought in some lyrics that went, I'm sailing away on the sweet surrender, but hauling these traps ain't for me. The worst case, I'll end up receiving the honor of losing my life to the sea. And Will just goes, "Can you maybe not write a sea shanty?"
Is that traps like lobster traps?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
this song is like a small coastal town in Maine, guy who hates his life and wants to sail away. Like, I hear it, it's there. And Will's like, I don't really want to do a sea shanty, dude. And so I was like, all right, genius. Well, what should I write about? And he was like, well, you haven't really written about jealousy very much. And I went, oh, well, that's interesting. Well, we could try jealousy. And so it ended up being a very kind of strange and honest form of jealousy about like telling your boy that you're kind of have feelings for his girl or his ex or whatever. But once we kind of, and the If We Go Down hook is kind of what remains from the old version where it's like losing my life to the sea, and if we go down, well then whatever. So that part at least made the final cut, and I'm glad you stopped me and
There's that equilibrium.
in the right direction. You know,
We should do that live though sometime.
Back to the sea shanty. Sure. Yeah, yeah. Do it live.
shanty for an acoustic version. That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
All right.
But I mean, my favorite part of this song is what I think is one of our greatest weapons that we have in our arsenal, and that is the conversation between saxophone and vocal. So it's to me, that chorus is so blissful because I get to do so little and just repeat the same line and just go ooh and just listen to the beautiful sound of the tenor sax.
And let's speak about tenor sax. I'm going to get to it in a second about the live set, but for this song, for If We Go Down, I mean, what inspired you on that particular track, just and getting laying down that that melodic fun?
I usually have like a very vague idea before I pull up to the sessions, and it's fun. It's like kind of a fun but high pressure situation because the other guys are like sitting right behind me, and I'm kind of like have this very vague idea of what's gonna go on, but I try to just trust my jazz intuition and just improvise something with that in mind. And we probably went through a few different iterations of what I was going to be playing over that chorus, but overall, just trying to keep it simple. I don't even Jackson hadn't recorded any vocals, I think, when I laid the sax down part or the sax part down rather. So I was just trying to keep it open, keep it, relatively simple so that Jackson could pretty seamlessly like work his lyrics into it. And yeah, I just wanted to go for something that, didn't distract from the really cool like underlying groove that Will and Sawyer were laying down. So very simple, very melodic, very easy to kind of do what Jackson mentioned, which is that call and response.
Love it. I love it. Well, I kind of want to move on, and I want to talk through, some of my highlights from the set the other night at Smithsville Bar, of course. Last Friday. Number one, my first impressions, you guys come out, and I'm like, all right, like, here we go. It seems pretty jammy, and then we get just Kenny G on the saxophone over there, and it was freaking unbelievable. Definitely a party, and I was like, man, like this band they're from New York and they've sold out a show here at Smith, so I gotta stick around and figure out what it's all about. But like, how important is the saxophone and just kind of y'all's improvisation, because that is definitely rings true whenever you do see the live show with you guys. Like, how do y'all practice? You're like, all right, like we're gonna look at each other and we have like a signal to know who's going and when, or like what's the whole process there?
It's funny you should bring the signaling up because that's something that we've had to work a lot on actually. It's really hard. It's really hard to get everyone to do the same thing at the same time outside of a written context. So we do a lot of like, lifting the instrument up, lifting the neck up, but also like the lifting the neck up, we try to like always have it be a reflection of the sonic part of the jam where like even if there wasn't a neck, ideally you would all be thinking, oh, this is the apex, like this is the end.
That's the
But then
neck of the
that
guitar,
it's like
by
a
the way.
security. Sorry?
That's the neck of
Not
the
like
guitar.
lifting his neck up like
Oh yeah, sorry. Like just lifting the instrument up just like so that other people can see that it's time to go to the next thing or whatnot.
It's funny because like
It's really hard.
each individual person like has their own intuitive sense of like when the next section should start or when a solo should end. But like sometimes all five of us feel it at the same moment and sometimes we don't. So we need a signal. But sometimes someone will feel the intuition and send a signal that isn't the signal that we agreed upon, like looking excited or like an eye contact or like turning around back to the crowd, and people will get confused. So that if you like pay close attention to that at our shows, you might catch a mistake or there. You
Yeah,
might,
and
but
it's all been established through making mistakes, right? And looking at either old videos of shows or multi-track recordings and being like, well, there, we weren't all in agreement on that one. So how can we make it so that we're always 100% on the big decisions, which are like where to end a solo or where to go into a new idea or who to follow in certain moments, and it's really fun because it's just constantly evolving, and it's never quite perfect. So you're just kind of chasing your tail endlessly. But that I think is what art is.
you don't want to. It's hard because you don't want to like cut someone off. Like if you're sometimes you worry like, oh, maybe they're not really feeling like this is the end of the section, but to me it's like this is where it's got to end. So I think it's been a lot of hours of just trying to establish trust between each other, and it's like having a conversation. You just kind of gotta go with the flow.
I mean, I think like the it's got to be, you guys are going over game tapes. So, I mean, there's got to be like a huge technical, aspect of this. That's something that I've never heard actually before from any band we've interviewed, is like probably because we don't interview that many improvisational bands, but I think that's awesome. Y'all are going over game tape to figure out like, hey, we got to figure out the next signal. We got to do we got to figure out the sections in the right ways. I mean, that I think just probably attributes it, and it's just a testament to you guys being technical about your craft, and trying to really get it really really tightened up for every set. How many shows do you think you had to get through? How many rooftop shows were there before we feel like you guys had gotten to the point where you're like, all right, like I feel good about us going to a bar right now and just absolutely melting everybody's face off with and feeling like, hey, like this one we're gonna watch back and we'll feel good about it.
Back then we had pretty blind confidence. Like we're way more critical now than like back then. We're like, oh, we're so good. Like we didn't know anything yet. We hadn't seen other like amazing bands, really, like colleagues yet, and yeah, we were just confident.
The first time we actually got footage, I think that was a serious watershed moment for the quality of our show. Like there have been certain moments where like we really transformed how good we were. I think certain personnel changes, like I think when Josh joined, it was like a whole new era. And then that first tape we got, and we realized this is not what we thought it sounded like on stage. But that was like that ushered in a new start. I think, and I think since then it's been better. Really, I've been quite happy with a lot of stuff we've done since then.
That's crazy. I mean, with it's with regards to like some people that you guys look up to on that front, like talk to me about like a couple of different people that like influencers or people you've met that have been like, hey, like giving you the, hey, you need to watch your own tape, you need to look at that and maybe assess these things. Like, has it been people in other bands, or like what does that look like? Anybody in particular kind of stick out to you guys?
I have one. I remember we all actually went to see Talk at the Brooklyn Bowl. No, not the Brooklyn Bowl, at the Blue Note. So it's like a small seated jazz club. And we saw them. We went on tour with them and did some shows with them, but this was before that. So it was like really my first exposure to their music. And I remember thinking like, fuck, like these guys can play. Like, damn. Like, and then, I think that was major inspiration for like realizing how high the ceiling is in terms of like on stage, actual live performance practice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that one was a cool one too, because later we got to go open for them and actually, dig a little deeper, get behind the scenes, see how they were orchestrating everything, finding out what the tricks were, what they were using to be so tight and in tune with each other throughout so much improvisation. That was an eye opener, and that was really cool. We love them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I want to kind of move through, again to some of y'all's, upcoming dates. We have some Midwest dates coming up, of course. You can check out their website, stolengin.com, find those. But, what cities are we excited for? Everybody can just go ahead and name one that you guys are, hyped to go get after it in.
Personally, I mean, this next run, all 4 cities, Ann Arbor, Cleveland, Chicago, and Pittsburgh, are places that I've never been before. And so I'm excited for all 4 of them. Chicago is going to be amazing, I know, because we've just had so many people on social media for years now telling us to come there. So I think there's going to be a great turnout. But excited for every single market we play. Every show is just a new opportunity to show what we got and what we can do. And yeah, I'm excited for all.
I love it. We'll move into a little Pete Peterson's party pack of questions here. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. Hope everybody's ready. Cake or pie? Jackson, kick us off.
Pie. And we actually had this conversation on tour.
Cake or pie?
This is I answer the same one now.
Yeah.
Cake. I'm going cake.
I'm going cake as well.
Pie.
He's pieing it. All right. I like it.
Can Sawyer explain how high ranking cake is in his list of favorite foods?
Cake is my second favorite ever food after fried chicken.
Oh my God.
Every like 6 months or so, I'll just buy an entire cake and basically just eat it over this course of like 18 hours.
I'll like never forget this answer because when you ask anyone what their favorite foods are, like they never say a list of dessert. Pretty much, it's like a separate category. But for him, cake is so important to him that it goes at the two spot for general food.
I mean, that's a heck of a ranking for a cake. I mean, I've known some linemen to go buy a full cake. I've not known just regular people. Like,
And also just like not any cake in particular, like just the genre. Like
Yeah. Well, I have
cake.
a separate cake ranking, but that's a sort of separate thing.
Whole other can of worms.
dude,
Yeah.
you must tear it up at those diners up there in New York.
Bro. It's like the financial ruin of the band. It's when we stop
right,
at a
well.
diner on tour.
We can't go to the Greek diners. I got it. All right. Salad or soup? What are you guys eating more of?
Salad, personally. Yeah.
Salad.
I ate more salad, but I like soup more.
Soup. It's cold.
Cold
All right,
soup.
we're going soup. All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you guys seeing more of these days?
Definitely sunset for me. Haven't been
Yeah,
waking
sunset
up
for me
early
too.
lately.
I'm up early. Sunrise.
I'll go sunset.
I like it. I like it. Would you guys rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Touchdown. It's got to be a
I'm
great.
going Homer. Definitely Homer.
Touchdown.
I would go touchdown, but if I could add a third option, I would say dunking a basketball.
Okay. All right. All right. Get the
Can we,
dunk
wait,
in there.
if we're adding stuff, I want to add 100-mile-per-hour pitch.
Just one.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. You guys having more nights in or nights out these days?
Ooh, nights in by far.
Yeah, I'll go nights in.
These days, nights in.
Same here, nights in.
I like it. I like it.
So fun.
All right. When you do go out though, and your jam comes on, are you guys hitting up the robot or the worm in the middle of the dance floor?
I'd say worm. I'd probably do worm before robot.
I'm going robot. I feel like the floor is still a little gross for worm.
Yeah, a robot. I think I'd hurt myself.
I'd probably do robot as well, but I'd love to see Jackson do the worm.
Someday.
I think we need to hit it up there. Midwest, Chicago show. I mean, getting hype, robot, worm. I mean, we can throw the worm in there.
Gotta throw a few drinks in me first.
Got a stage dive first. But
I like it. I like it. Guac or queso when you guys are on the road at a Mexican spot?
I'm gonna go queso. Good queso. Nothing like good queso.
I'm also queso.
walk for sure.
Guac, definitely.
All right. All right. We've been pretty split on a lot of these. Not a lot of unanimous here. Waffles or pancakes?
Easy.
Pancakes.
Waffle.
Pancake.
Pancakes, 100%.
Oh, all right. All right. Coffee or tea? How you starting your day?
Tea.
You know, I'll say tea. I'll say tea.
Definitely coffee.
I like tea.
All right. All right. Here we go. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Cat.
Dogs.
Just one, sir?
Just one.
I like the personality of cats more.
Okay. All right. All right. No. What if a dog was like a cat dog?
I'm so
Like the
allergic
show.
that I can't even like have a real point of view on this. So I'll just say cats.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Are you guys more like ninjas or pirates? What do you identify with?
I'd say pirates. I'm already kind of a pirate, so.
Yeah, I'm going pirate just because I was reminded of that sea song. It's pretty fire.
I think ninja. I'm not too crazy. I feel like pirates all over the place. Ninja's a little more stealth.
I like it.
I'll say ninja.
Nice, nice. Gatorade or Powerade? What are you guys drinking to recover from a night out when you do have it?
Better and better. Gatorade.
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 I like it. All right, we're unanimous on Gatorade. Let's go. Toast or bagels? This one might be a stupid one to ask four guys who live in New York, but we're going after it.
I'm going to say toast. I feel like I'm going to be alone on this one, but I'm going to say toast.
I'm going bagels. Going
Bagel.
bagels.
Yeah.
Love a bagel.
All right. Chips or pretzels? Pretzels category includes soft pretzels. Just want to make sure that you understand that.
I'll still go chips. I love a big old New York pretzel, but still go chips.
Pretzel.
Yeah, pretzel.
Chips.
I like it. I like it. Fries or tots?
Fries. Fries are good.
Definitely fries. They're way more of a big player. They're tots.
Agree.
Fries.
Fries. All right, here we go. TV show or a movie? What are you watching after a long day?
Lately, definitely TV show.
TV for me too.
TV. I don't think movies are good anymore.
I've been in a big movie phase recently, so I'll say movies.
I like it. Are aliens real?
Absolutely.
They're so definitely real. It's like, no, there's not even.
Sawyer's proof of that.
I'm proof.
We should cover that Blink-182 song. Yeah, aliens exist.
Okay.
Facts. Yep.
Nice. All right. What about Bigfoot?
Came up during tour also because of the place we were in. I feel like he would have been exposed by now. I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't trust it either.
I couldn't believe how many Bigfoot expedition signs there are in Tennessee. I just couldn't believe it. No,
Heading up from Atlanta to Nashville, it is Bigfoot country.
Yeah, I've yet
Yeah,
to.
I don't believe it. There's too many holes in the plot.
Like it. All right. Is love at first sight real?
I'd say yes.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I like it. We gotta have one cynic in the group. I mean, we've never had anybody unanimously go, yeah, love at first sight, totally real. Had a lot of lust at first sight's real, but no one ever going straight across the board. Well, final question of Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, guys. We appreciate you guys coming on here. Name one band that our listeners may not know, that we may not know, that we ought to check out and maybe try to get on the podcast.
One band. I'm going to plug some friends of mine, Shallow Alcove. They are absolutely phenomenal and the nicest people I know.
My favorite band ever is a metal band called Car Bomb, who are grossly under-recognized.
I love the French band L'Imperatrice. One of my favorites. We're all going to see them soon.
There's a great band I think they're from Boston. They're called Crumb.
Crumb?
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm not going to be able to pronounce the first one, Jackson. If you'll give that to us again, please.
Oh, Shallow Alcove.
Shallow Alcove. Love
Yeah.
it. All right. And we got Car Bomb, L'Imperatrice.
Yes, sir.
Ugh, brutal. Crumb. Got that one. Awesome. Guys, we'll travel safe on your Midwest tour dates coming up here. Everyone check out their website, www.stolengin.com. Check them out on Spotify. Stream if we go down. And again, I can't stress this enough. You have to go see these gentlemen live because it is a thing of beauty. And they have married themselves very well together as a band and as a unit. Trust me, I've seen it. Take my word for it. But appreciate you guys coming on and hopping into the Indiebnb here. Look forward to having you guys on again.
Right back at you.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.